For more, let's get our guest in now for more details and opinion. It's Adam Schwartz here, writer and political commentator, joining us live from London. Adam, good to see you. This is all allegedly right now, but it's still shocking to hear.
Yes, well, it remains to be exactly proven who said these comments. But of course, these comments, whoever said them, are completely abhorrent and unacceptable in the modern society that the UK is. I think they really represent the sort of worst aspects of racism from the era of the British Empire. But clearly there are aspects of sort of misogyny and sexism as well. The councillor has referred himself to the Ombudsman, which means that it's an independent organisation that will investigate the matter. But the Conservative Party as well has also said that it'll be conducting its own investigation into the issue. In my view, I think it also potentially represents incitement. So it's possible later down the line we may see some kind of criminal charges as well. I think it's really shocking, these comments, whatever level of society they take place, but particularly when it takes place from someone allegedly who was in a position of power, and particularly an elected position of power. It's of course, important not to kind of over-interpret these comments as, representing all of the views from the British mainstream society. But I do think it's important to kind of reflect on a societal level the fact that somebody can be in such a position, also hold these horrendous views. The UK, of course, has made huge progress in terms of anti-racism movement over the last few years. Public perceptions and public views of racism have reduced over the last few years. We have quite stringent legislation and regulations that says that racism is not allowed, but also equal opportunities are something that's quite important. Of course, we have our first non-white Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, which of course was a landmark moment for the UK. But I think racism is not something that simply disappears. And 83% of black and minority ethnic people in the UK have experienced racism at some point over the last few years. So I think explicit racism is not really something that is allowed in the UK anymore, particularly judging by the rightful reaction to these comments. But I think, something that's important to note is that sort of more subtle racism, I think, is something that's really kind of infiltrated British discourse. And I think particularly sort of racism and incitement towards immigrants, particularly from quite a high level in politics, is something that seems to have, come into the public discourse over the last few years. So I think, these comments are very concerning, and I'm pleased that they are being fully investigated. But clearly there are still, despite major progress in the UK, clearly there are still issues of racism in UK society.
Okay, Adam, thank you so much. And let's just hope that at the end of this investigation, there is no truth in this, because as you described, it is quite horrendous. Adam Schwartz, thank you so much, a writer and political commentator from here in the British capital, joining us today on WION.
Good to be with you.